You know, I have a dream. I have a dream where, when we say that the body of the young girls is no longer used in the battlefield. When I meet those girls and they said, I have been raped, for me, I say zero tolerance. And we make sure that Africa is free of violence. This is a dream. Sometimes people say in a utopia, but I think it's feasible, it's doable. And when I see more women in our institutions, that is where we transform. When I go to the village, we are all coming from village where I come from, and I see that women have the free water, the education of the young boys and girls. I think the dream of the implementation of human security agenda for the whole world. This is a dream, a continent where women take the power. I think that in the last few years we have made a tremendous gain in terms of solving some of the conflict that was affecting our continent. In terms of Liberia, peaceful, Sierra Leone, but also Burundi, Rwanda. But still now what we see is new crises, that the new phenomenon, the extremism, the fundamentalism. You name them, Boko Haram in Nigeria, Al-Shabaab in Somalia, but also still using systematically the body of the women. And I think even the young girls, 7 years, are suicide bombers. I think before African Union were waiting for the global world to come with the military peacekeeping. And I think the African Union have realized that we have to take their own destiny in our hands. We make sure that we are the ones, and it is happening with Somalia. But I think at the end of the day, the African Union needs to work hand in hand with the UN, because after the AU have come in the first front, the second front is the UN. Because what African Union teams need more is skills and capacity. And I think that is where the UN can come in partnership as well. I see some gaps there in the coordination between the regions and the UN. When you look at in the continent, but also in many places, nobody now will be surprised that you see a woman head of state or president at the political level, women's ministers of finance, women, so it become part of the culture of women political party. But a lot need to be done to continue that trend. But what is missing, for example, in Africa right now is, for example, in terms of education, we make sure that we enter into science and technology for our young girls and boys, one. Second is agriculture. Women don't have access to land. And those are key issues if we want to sustain peace. So for me, while we are pushing women to be political and to transform, we need also to look into the economic side. And lastly, is to involve the men. If we don't have the honorary women, we call them honorary women. If we don't have those honorary women with us, I think the transformation will be very difficult. And as I said, the young boys, they are the future. They are the leaders of tomorrow. And sometimes they tell me, we are the leaders of today. So we must make sure that they are in leadership position, we empower them, and we see the new generation that will take the gender agenda forward. We will not achieve peace, sustainable peace, without the involvement of our citizens. First and foremost, and I think it's because for long time our leaders have neglected the citizen, responding to their needs, the human security dimension, not just the resource we have, but building hospitals, building clinics for the people, education for the young, employment. So if they don't respond to those needs and respond to that, the citizens are in the streets. And this is what we are seeing right now. But we think that unless they are sitting at the table, nothing will happen, or even it's happened, it will not be durable. When you look at now more and more, they are saying we the people. We are not saying anymore we the states, because I think the state are not responding, the failure of the state to respond to the people's needs. So we all realize that they cannot do it alone. You know, they have the responsibility, they have the leadership, but when we measure progress, either it is an MDG or the future of the world, we see that states have failed. So unless citizens are included in the decision, and citizens are included, including, as I said, the private sector, because they are part of the problems, the big industries, we need to bring them at the table. So I think it's we the people and we the women, because we represent 51. So if you put also the young people together with the women, you will see that we are the one who can govern this world. Is not just our state and our leaders. So we the people should be the transformation that we should see in the future, just starting it now for the 20 years of Beijing.